GBIA and GBIB. Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Now, do we have comments or questions?
I actually have a motion for a revision.
Okay, let's take that next.
Well, right, so we had to talk about it to be able to then go into
Yes.
to be able to revise it. So at facilities last month, yeah, it was beginning of June, we discussed adding office to approved classroom postings. Our discussion was that it should be uniform amongst all district spaces. Offices should not be exempt. That our office staff, wherever they may be, depending upon what their position is, it applies to everybody. So
that would be under GBIB.
So I want to make a motion to amend GBIB to include, so to change it to approved classroom and office postings. And then in the first sentence, add after classrooms and offices. And I think that covers all of it.
Kristen has made a motion to amend this GBIB to include offices, and then in the first sentence, offices. Do we have a second to that amendment?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion been made and seconded. Comments or discussion about that?
No, I know there was other revisions that we could possibly, but I wasn't.
I have one, it doesn't need an amendment, it's just one word, and it was suggested by one of our staff members that on student artwork, that it just say student work, because who decides what is art? It made me think of the targets in the hallway. So just taking off the word art and having it be work, I don't think it needs to be amended, but if that is.
I mean, I can amend my amendment
Right,
to that.
why don't you?
I amend my amendment to change student artwork to student work.
Are you up on all that?
I just have a clarifying question. So is it, do you approve it as is and then make a motion to amend it, or is that all just one motion?
Well, to be able to discuss it, we have to have a motion to bring it
and then you
forward,
amend
and then we amended it.
Okay, got it.
Does anybody, I have a statement I'd like to make.
But did you
I'm sorry.
vote?
We didn't vote on the amendment to the amendment. I apologize. Okay, amendment has been changed to add cross-off art, which would include student work. And that has been made once. Do we have a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made second. Any other comments or questions about this? So we understand, we already approved the first part. Now we're looking at the art part.
So to approve those amendments to then vote on as a whole.
We're ready to approve those?
Yes.
Okay, now we're all set. Now we all know what we're voting on.
Jennifer, I think someone might be opposed. There's four.
Yes.
Four, okay. And then, so opposed.
I'm
No
sorry.
extensions.
Four yes, one opposed. Thank you. It's your help, you might be.
And that's just for the amendment or the whole thing?
That's just for the amendment. We haven't voted yet. I know, it's taking forever. I have a statement, and then if anybody else would like to make a statement before we actually vote. One thing I've always appreciated is the diversity of this community. Fishermen, lobstermen, artists, people from away, families that have been here for generations, all come together when there's a tragedy like the Port Clyde fire, or to support something new like the Grace Innovation Center. Our differences in politics or how we view the world were never an issue when we worked together. When the situation with the town rec department and basketball surfaced, it raised issues and brought out deeply held viewpoints on both ends of the spectrum. Even though it had nothing to do with the school, we became the arena where emotions were high and people tried to get their viewpoint to take precedent over others. In an effort to learn what was important in our community, we developed a survey which reinforced that there is division in our community. We surveyed the staff, and we also find there was division within the staff about their opinions. Issues such as displaying a pride flag in a classroom, at what age is appropriate to offer books about sexual orientation or gender identity, or when issues like that are appropriate to discuss in a classroom, all became issues to disagree about. Throughout the year, as individuals and groups spoke, there was apparently no way to compromise. At board meetings, we've had people express that the pride flag simply means all are welcome. So how could anybody be against it? I then realized that people did not even agree about the meaning of the flag. How could they come to an agreement about it, whether it's appropriate to display or not? I appreciate that for many people, displaying the Displaying the flag is a signal that the LGBT plus are safe and welcome, and for those people, it's important to show support. That was not the intent of the person who commissioned the first flag. In 1975 in San Francisco, Harvey Milk commissioned artist Gilbert Baker to create a symbol of visibility and pride for its members. Gilbert, because they were going to have a gay pride freedom parade. Gilbert Baker said, "A flag fits that mission because it's a way of proclaiming my visibility and saying that's who I am." The original 8-stripe flag was replaced by the 6-stripe rainbow flag, which was originally designed to replace the pink triangle which had been used in Nazi concentration camps. Instead of a symbol of oppression, the community wanted a positive emblem that celebrated identity. Even for the group it represented, it did not show inclusion for all. So in 2018, Daniel Quasar designed a new flag, which added black and brown colors to include people of color, which they had left out, and also added symbols to include people living with or lost to HIV or AIDS. The flag has transformed significantly over the decades due to production challenges and a push for greater inclusivity. Many specific groups have subsequently created their own flag, so today there are over 30 variations of the rainbow flag. At the end of the school year, there were a number of pride flags displayed. Someone put up a straight flag, and once again, strong emotions were displayed, along with negative comments on social media. Some people assumed that it was meant as an attack against the LGBT plus community and not simply a display of their own flag. If we do nothing, this escalation and disagreements will continue as each group insists that their flag be displayed. Without a clear policy, any flag could be displayed. This is not about a pride flag or a straight flag. At the present time, our lack of policy has made our school vulnerable to an escalation of divisiveness over many issues. If I personally wanted to put up a flag, I'd put one up that said Mothers Demand Action Against Gun Violence. It's the #1 cause of all children 18 and under, so I think that's important. Somebody would also put up a flag about protecting gun rights, so we'd have a division about that. So even though tonight we're talking about pride flags, for us, it's not just about pride flags. It's we don't have a policy about this. I might also put up a flag about supporting legal immigrants for humane rights. Someone else will put up a flag that says, I support ICE. And there's no stopping it if we don't do something. We're not a rally, we're not an arena where these ideas should be played out. We're a school. We need to get back to focusing on curriculum and the needs of our students. We do know that everyone does agree that students, staff, and families all want a place where people are safe, respected, and welcome. Let's say that in plain English. Not only has this divisiveness caused stress and anxiety for many, it's taken time and resources away from working on issues that benefit children. It's also created a financial burden on our district. So far, we've spent $30,000 more on legal fees than we budgeted on grievances, investigations, and lawsuits. The bills are still coming in. Could easily add an additional $25,000. The haste to post news on social media has spread misinformation in our community. One person who commented tonight on pending policies is objecting to our stand on transgender child in sports. We've never had a plan. We've never spoken about a plan. We do not have such a plan. So again, misinformation. Comments have been made about artwork or displays that the board has taken down and refused to consider. That's absolutely false. Things have been taken down so painting could be done, and we've invited individuals to tell us what they would like to see displayed. No one has chosen to come forward to do that. I understand there are many in our school and community who feel it's important to take action to show support for the LGBT plus community. Certainly, this group has faced discrimination, hatred, and violence. That's not the case in our school. There is
Lost the human rights complaint.
We lost the human rights complaint because there's protection under the law, and we have a board policy that reiterates the rights and protections for this group. We have not proposed any policy that takes away any rights. We have not responded in the exact manner that some parents and community members want us to, but I feel that the overwhelming majority of our staff have acted in ways to make sure that every student has felt safe, respected, and welcome. A survey was done by staff in Transcend. Almost 90% of all students said they felt that their teachers cared about them. I would like to thank those families who do feel better about the policy we've done. They have shown incredible patience and understanding as we have tried to meet the needs of every student. I'd like to ask for the patience of the rest of the community and the staff. I'm well aware that we've made restrictions on teachers' ability to make decisions. I think you'll find that the majority of teachers will not need to make any changes in their classroom. This policy does not take away from the staff's right to place personal items that are important to them on the desk, as long as it does not cause a distraction. Is there anyone else who'd like to make a statement tonight before we vote?
I didn't write it as eloquently, but I did just want to point out that this year, it has become very apparent that we needed to have some well-written expectations of what's hanging in our facilities. These are taxpayer-funded facilities, and these policies allow us to be able to answer to the community of what the expectations are of what's hanging in our school and district offices. As it is standing without a policy, it is really hard to answer to the community what our expectations are inside our school. If this is rooted in curriculum, like, we will be able to have clear expectations. These policies still allow for staff to have personal items on their desks and workspaces, as long as they're not distractions. And this was something that I thought was really important when we discussed our survey results, that we have to listen and respect that folks can still put things on their desk that is done in a manner that does not turn into social media fodder. So if there is a pride flag that is put in a pencil holder that is not a distraction, it should be fine. It's when we have things that just continue to escalate, and that's all we've been watching lately. And I just want to set a standard, and I really hope that we can find a path forward. I talked about trying to find a path forward from the beginning. Our answers are not here or here. It's trying to find a way in the middle that can work for everybody, to try to find solutions that just find commonality. And I hope that we can find commonality in trying to root our expectations on a clear level for everyone.
Betsy, did you want to speak tonight?
I wasn't on the board when these policies were
Okay.
created. I'm opposed to both of them strongly, so. I don't think they're the right thing for our school or for our students, but they've already been. I think we should pause. I think we should listen to the community. I think we should listen to the students who've been speaking in the last, 6 or 7 months here against restricting classroom. And I just think this is the wrong direction, but I'm new and I feel like I'm in the minority. So I do feel strongly that we should really try to pause and reflect on what we're going forward with, because I only know of one other school district in the state, RSU 63, who restricted pride flags, and it was terrible for the school. Half the board resigned. There was a lot of just anger. I already feel this town is quite divided, and I think this is going to make things worse. And I know we already have legal issues, and I think that's also going to be even worse. But that's my opinion. I think that there are several people that spoke very eloquently. The science does not suggest that we should be restricting flags. These are marginalized students who are at much higher risk for suicide, depression, anxiety, self-harm, and we're just marginalizing them more. So I think this is a bad policy, both of them.
Anyone else want to speak to it? I'll say, I'm sorry that we've come to this, and I'll take responsibility. I'm the person who's been on the board the longest. We should have had a policy long before this, and then it wouldn't have gotten out of hand like this, that we had that escalate at the end of the year. But I think if no one else has anything, we're ready to vote. All in favor of approving GBIA and GBIB with the modifications, signal now. And that's 4-2. All opposed? 4-1. The next group, I would like to take all of these together: AC, ACAA, ACAAR, ACAB, and ACABR.
I'll make a motion to approve AC, ACAA, ACAAR, ACAB, ACABR.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? Motion's been made and seconded. Comment or questions about these?
I just have to say finally, because they were supposed to be done a long ago, so just, that's my only
But keep
comment.
that